Okay, so we're going to talk about our word and also like taking action on vision. I know that we had, I shared a podcast. And so if you haven't listened to the podcast, I highly recommend doing that before the beginning of the year and like going through your vision board because we'll talk about it, but the science behind the vision board and what that means, and also how you can help your clients when it comes to the vision they have for their goals, because I feel like this can be really applicable for everything. Can you just, okay, hold on just one sec. Hey, Ashton, what are you doing right now? Okay, so we'll go into what like the action on vision and the science behind the vision board is. I was so fascinating. She like talks about how like our brain patterns, and I was even like I messaged her after I listened to the podcast, and I was like, oh my gosh, so you could like apply this for like habits that like your children have developed or something, and like try and like rewire their brain. And she was like, yeah, you totally can. So it's cool because her husband, if you haven't listened to the podcast, her husband works with people who have had strokes and like have to regain like learning how to walk, and he rewires their brain to help them be able to be mobile again. Like that's the type of medicine that he is involved in. And so it's more of like how you can really like it's action and repetition is like key in that. Okay, so I feel like when we talk about word, like a word, people have been like, why a word? Why is it beneficial? You know, there's all like that talk about like the resolution and all that. I don't ever set New Year's resolutions. I just have like a word. You can do this with your family too. You can do this with your partner, whatever, kind of having a few different words and then also creating them around your house and like where they're going to be so you can look at them. But it provides an anchor and encourage you to consciously and then also subconsciously, which we're going to talk about because most of our thoughts are actually subconscious, which is an interesting fact. But it really helps you focus on making decisions. So when you're in decision making throughout that year, you can think about like you subconsciously have been repeating this word to yourself. So you're subconsciously going to make choices based on that word and kind of those lessons in your life. So I did find word of the year ideas. You can take some of these, you can take a screenshot of it, or maybe you already have your word, but I just Googled word of the year ideas. And this popped up with, there's also other words that they had, and you can even put a few together. Like, again, so down here, this is what I wanted to share. So if you're kind of like, okay, so how do I pick my word? So consider like how the past year has been and what's something that you could improve on or do differently, or something you maybe just want to keep working on. Maybe the word you had last year, you still feel aligned with it and you want to continue this next year to work on it. Like you don't have to necessarily switch your word if that's something that you still want to work on, or you could just add to it. Um, think of something that maybe isn't going well in your life right now. Maybe what's the opposite word that you can more positively like attract in that. So for example, if fear is like keeping you or holding you back from doing things that you want to do in your life, then maybe the alternative could be like fearless or brave, right? Like I mean, I know a lot of people are reading the 100 Days to Brave right now too. So maybe something that you've been reading and that has been aligned with you or something like that. What do you want more of in your life? What do you want less of? And then also like what could be a game changer for you. So these are some ideas and questions that you can just ask yourself, or questions you could ask your clients and your challengers as you maybe are helping them and guiding them to find the word that works best for them, because maybe they're struggling with how to find it. You know, you're the quote unquote expert to them, right? Like you're their coach. And so if you have these questions to ask them, you could kind of help guide them in the direction of the word that they can choose for themselves. Because I think that this can go both ways. I think it's really valuable for us to have a word, but I also think it's super valuable to be talking about this with our challengers and what that means for them, because I think everyone should be thinking about this. Okay, so taking action, more of our thoughts are subconscious. So I'm gonna, this is all the PowerPoint that I had. But I wanted to go into the science behind, I don't know if, Ashley, did you listen to the podcast or the live? No, that's fine. I'm going to talk about it because I think it was super valuable. And I mean, I still think you should go back and listen to it because how she explains it was really great. But basically, she talks about how our brain has input, and any kind of stimulation that goes into our brain has like a consequence, whether that's going to be positive or negative. And so she talks about how like we have our brain that lights up neurons and brain cells, and then they communicate with each other. So basically, it depends, like when you're having like an input of these pathways, that's what's called a hardwired pattern. So, like, again, when you're helping people, they may have these hardwired patterns that they have to learn how to break. And that can be really hard. And the reason why repetition is valuable is because that helps break those hardwired patterns. Like maybe you have maybe you had a hardwired pattern at the beginning of your journey. Like maybe you can think of something like that and how like you will have that resistance because your body's not going to feel good. She uses the example of waking up early in the morning, right? That's hard for a lot of people, right? To want to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning and start their day and whatnot. And she's like, your body isn't going to feel good. You feel good. It's going to actually feel negative because you're going against that brain pattern that you've had for so long. So it's normal for your brain to not feel right. But she says like when you're working on it, you will stay consistent on change. And then I wrote a confidence sequence. As she was writing, I was like literally guide culture, like writing a confidence sequence about consistency, because I think the value of our groups and what we have to offer is the fact that we help our brains rewire a pattern because we provide that consistency. We have like those tools to keep going because it's really hard for your brain to rewire when you start and stop and you like don't have, you know, that whole thing. So when you're staying consistent, you're changing your brain pattern, which is going to help you live a more happy, healthy, and fulfilling life, which is what people want, right? You know, so it really like made it so clear, even though like I knew, but it just puts it more into perspective of the brain. And I've been talking about like studying the brain more and stuff. And she also talks about how you move in the direction you think about. So this is when she was talking about the vision and like the action behind it. So like, yeah, like of course having big goals is necessary, but how can we have action steps behind it? So like, do you want to like what like an income goal? You can also put like, I want to read 20 books in this category because getting better at this is going to help me help more people, which is going to help me make more money, right? Like, of course, having that end goal and that vision is important, but the action steps behind it is what's going to actually get you there. And this is where I feel like I've done maybe it wrong, or like just over the years have like maybe not thought about it in this way, is not having, she says, because like when you have the flashy pictures, which are all great, you can still like almost hurt yourself in the wrong way because you think like I don't have that. So sometimes your brain can almost subconsciously go to the lack when that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to inspire yourself to get there. But if you have like the action steps in front, you're more likely to take that because you're looking at that every day. And then that's going to help you get that dream home or the dream car or, the things that you want in your life. And I thought that was really fascinating to kind of think about. And repetition. So waking up, writing down your goals. This is something I want to start doing in 2021. I have never been consistent with this, but writing down every single day, like 5 goals that you have for yourself, because that repetition and not even the goals, like the actions that you're doing for yourself every day, that's what's going to help you create those different brain patterns and help you take action on different things. I took so many notes when I like literally, I think I have like 7 pages of notes. But she talks about emotional intelligence. She talks about she actually talks about reading your goals 2 times a day. So I'll post it. I actually posted it in the team pages too, but I'll send it to you. but reading like morning and night, because she actually said that the best time for your brain is actually right before you're going to bed. So she said to like while you're unwinding to actually say your goals to yourself or the action items, because you're more likely to do, she said something like you're more likely to do what you think about as you're like dozing off. That's like the time, which I thought was really interesting, because I think, again, a lot of people think like morning, right? Like have to set my morning right, where nighttime is actually something I want to get better at too, is like my nighttime routine, and not just like passing out, but like pregnancy life right now, man. It's a doozy. But and she also talks about neuroplasticity. Again, all these things that are like above me, but I was like, I'm so fascinated. I want to learn more and like do more research. But that's basically how it can change our brain. That's basically like your brain changing because of you taking action on these different things every single day. Even our posture changes our brain, which I thought was really interesting. You're like creating new brain cells and really what that environment is. So, micro changes daily, making this biggest impact on how you feel. And she says, what do you want the money for? 5 layers deep. So asking yourself, like, why 5 times? Like you ask your challengers why they want to hit that goal, why that matters to them, all those things. Ask yourself those same questions. Dig deep with yourself and find out those five layers deep. Yeah. She talks about writing a statement. That's another great thing. Instead of just having a word, also having a statement that you live by. I want to be more, or I am whatever. Like having kind of that affirmation. And vision is the strongest sense that we have, which I thought was really cool as well. You're 65% more likely to achieve your visions when you continue to repeat and do those 2 times a day. So we do have 10 to 15 minutes a day. It's all it takes to focus on your vision. You could do 5 to 10 in the morning, 5 to 10 at night. It like you don't even have like, that's why I will meditate in bed. Like wake up and when you meditate, you can just continue to lay in bed. You don't even have to get up. Then you start your day, or maybe you'll fall back asleep, but you can also start your day. But it's really just about taking that first step. So if you haven't finished your vision board, do that. Thinking about your action steps involved. You can write things on it too. Like writing your action steps on your vision board. I know we have started it like a few weeks ago and stuff. And what do you want your life to look like in 5 years? Thinking about that too. I know we've been talking about 2021, but obviously this year is going to help catapult other years as well. So yeah, I'll send the podcast with a doctor. She is like all about the brain. Anyone have anything they want to add? I feel like people are going to be on, but I guess no one. I guess it's the awkward week before New Year's.
Yeah. Where's everyone at? Even Talia, where is she at?
I know, it's weird. And Brianne said she was going to be on because she was going to be off work. That's okay.
Ooh.
Oh, hey. Got a popsicle. Did you get your pina colada popsicle?
I did.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say you should just make yourself a virgin pina colada.
I know, but I got pina colada pop now.
Yay. That's so funny. That's great. Here, I'm going to send this. I don't know how to get it on the computer, so I'll send it. Or I'll tag you. Have you guys finished your vision board? I still need to finish mine.
I have a bunch of pictures saved, but I just... Oh my goodness, these children.
I know.
I know Gabby's is so cute, and I was like, how can I make mine look cute like that? Where are all my things? All my things I want.
I know. I know. Mine's like half done. I need to finish it and print it out. And then I want to do one with the kids too. If they're interested. Hopefully they're
I
interested.
feel like I'm a referee.
Oh, yeah, me too. That's how I'm gonna stop the recording because I don't wanna, unless you have anything else you want to talk about. Otherwise we'll wrap it up.
18 minutes.
Yeah,
That was a quick one.
that's good. Then the recording won't be long.